Hello, you're watching PC Jack, and welcome to this week's news roundup. This week, Nvidia unleashed the RTX 4090, which has absolutely decimated gaming benchmarks. However, this has come at a cost. Well, when I say cost, I mean literally. This thing is hella expensive. Let's talk about it. So, on Tuesday 11th of October, the embargo on Nvidia's RTX 4090 Founders Edition GPU lifted, and we finally got our first glimpse at how powerful this GPU actually is. Unsurprisingly, it's been proven to be a chart topper by no insignificant margin, with staggering leads over last-gen GPUs, in what some reviewers have described as one of the biggest gen-over-gen improvements in years. To get an idea of performance, taking a look at this article from Tom's Hardware, looking at an 8-game average for FPS at 4K Ultra settings, the RTX 4090 averages 124.8 FPS, while the previous best performing GPU, the RTX 3090 Ti, averaged 80.7 FPS. This marked a performance improvement of around 54%, which is absolutely astonishing. Interestingly, while it's mostly a given that PC builders would most likely pair this GPU with a 4K display, reviewers have found that it's almost silly to run this card at 1440p or lower, as we're starting to become even more CPU bound than normal, which goes to show how easily you can bottleneck this card. A lot of this information is really crazy, which makes it quite easy to overlook some other tidbits that are quite important in understanding how this performance is being gained. As we expected, based not only on rumours leading up to the launch of these cards, as well as the absolutely absurd size of the coolers on these GPUs, power has increased significantly over last gen, as displayed in this benchmark with Furmark. Looking at total board power, the RTX 4090 consumed up to 462.1 watts, which is huge, but compared to the RTX 3090 Ti from Asus, it's actually a slight bit lower, but of course AIB models typically do increase the actual power limits and overclocks on these cards, so this difference is slightly expected. Either way, this is a very important thing to factor into your buying decision, not only for the kind of case you're going to pair it with along with the cooling, but also the power supply that you're going to go for. Nvidia recommends an 850 watt PSU for its FE model at minimum, whereas Asus and Gigabyte recommends a 1000 watt power supply, and Palette even recommends a 1200 watt power supply. These are pretty demanding requirements when it comes to power, and you would expect that after this much time we'd be looking at more power efficient cards, but it seems that in order to gain this huge performance leap, Nvidia are willing to push the power as much as possible. Maybe this is to thwart AMD with their upcoming RDNA 3 lineup for graphics cards, but only time will tell. We'll see whether AMD can answer this call. Now, despite this huge performance and high praise from reviewers, the biggest factor is of course the pricing on the 4090. At $1,600, the RTX 4090 is certainly a premium product, and many would say that Nvidia are taking advantage of the crypto boom and the fallout from there in order to still regain these high prices that they charged over the last 2 years. However, come launch day on Wednesday 12th of October, the outcry of disapproval seemed disproportionate based on the sales we saw, with many retailers worldwide selling out much like we've seen so often on last gen GPUs. To me, it seems crazy that people are still willing to pay such exorbitant prices for graphics cards, and if it does continue like this, then of course Nvidia will continue to up the prices as much as possible on next gen hardware. Until competition is there, it certainly seems a tall order, given that Nvidia have forgotten almost entirely about the budget market. However, it is nice that Intel have tried to fill this void that Nvidia have forgotten about, even on the same day as the RTX 4090. However, it seems that availability has been pretty disappointing when it comes to the Intel Arc A770, despite somewhat impressive performance but lackluster driver support. Even in the UK, only one retailer, eBuyer, was keeping these in stock, but seemingly only available for pre-order, which is pretty disappointing. It will take some time to gauge Intel's effect on the discrete GPU market, but for the moment it seems somewhat minimal. Hi, Future Jack dropping in here. So I actually filmed this video on Friday afternoon, merely a few hours before Nvidia dropped that huge bombshell. The bombshell being that Nvidia is no longer going to release the RTX 4080 12GB model. Coming straight from Nvidia's announcement, they've said that the RTX 4080 12GB is a fantastic graphics card, but it's not named right. Having two GPUs with the 4080 designation is confusing. You're telling me. So we're pressing the unlaunched button on the 4080 12GB. The RTX 4080 16GB is amazing and on track to delight gamers everywhere on November 16th. If the lines around the block and enthusiasm for the 4090 is any indication, the reception for the 4080 will be awesome. So it seems like PC gamers mocking Nvidia for releasing an RTX 4070 as an 80 class card with 80 class pricing has finally got to them. This seems purely like damage control, and just that they couldn't actually justify this to themselves any longer. So what happens next? Well, potentially Nvidia could actually rename this the RTX 4070 as we thought they should, or potentially they could even release the RTX 4070 on a 4060 Ti die in order to actually further widen the gap between SKUs. While we've all had fun taking a jab at Nvidia on the RTX 4080 12GB, at the end of the day, the people who are going to lose out the most are going to be AIBs who are going to be scrounging to fix this with merely weeks to launch. Let's remember that it takes a very long time to prep these cards, and given that we were expecting this in November, it seems that AIBs are probably going to be feeling very burnt out right now. So, it definitely seems like EVGA go out at the right time. Okay, just want to drop that in there, but let's roll back to Past Jack to end the video. Ending on a more positive note though, PC gamers who are excited to finally play Sony's PC port of Spider-Man Remastered are going to get treated to yet another port, and even in the same universe, with the Miles Morales spin-off. Featuring much of the same features as the original Spider-Man game, with the exception of newly implemented ray trace shadows and DLSS 3.0, it seems this game will take the top spot on Steam's bestseller chart much like its predecessor when it launches on 18th of November, so we only have about a month to go at this point. It seems PC gamers are getting spoiled for choice as Sony advances even further into the PC gaming market, with ports such as Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone, and even Sackboy. So it seems almost certain that we'll see even more titles on the way very soon. Again, I've got my fingers crossed for Returnal after even more leaks. Please Sony, don't let me down. So, that's it for this week's news roundup. Let us know your thoughts on the topics down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to like and subscribe for more videos on the way soon. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at PCJack94. If you'd like to know more of myself and other like-minded hardware enthusiasts, then make sure to check out the PC Jack Discord. If you'd like to support the channel even further though, then make sure to check out the PC Jack Patreon where you can claim exclusive benefits while having the fun everything I do on the channel for you guys. You'll find links to all those in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.